Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be taking a look at a nor'easter that is most likely going to give parts of the Northeast their first major snowfall this year. If we take a look at the 12Z run of the GFS, it shows the storm starting to form in South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee border by 7 p.m. Saturday. Where my purple L right there is where the storm is located at 7 p.m. Saturday. If we continue here, you can see the storm is by Virginia-Maryland border by 7 a.m. Sunday now. Oh, excuse me. This L right here was 7 p.m. Friday, and this is 7 a.m. Saturday. You can see the rain is already stretching from parts of Yonkers County, New York, Massachusetts, and well past Connecticut here. If we continue on the next slide, you can see the storm starts to interact with the cold air. The low starts to deepen right off the New Jersey coastline here. It's just south of Long Island. And in upstate New York, you're starting to see rain changing over to snow. You have heavy rain from Long Island stretching from, again, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Long Island, New Jersey, and parts of Delaware. The storm continues to move north-northeast just by Nantucket. You can see that heavy snow is transitioning back to rain in parts of New York, and that heavy snow band is actually transitioned just in the central and western parts of Massachusetts, northern part of Connecticut, New Hampshire, and southern parts of Vermont. If we continue on the next slide here, it's in the Gulf of Maine, the storm, as a 981 low, hammering Maine, Vermont, and parts of Massachusetts here with some heavy snowfall. If you follow the low, what at least the GFS is showing here, it takes it from northeast Georgia straight up through Maryland and Virginia, just off the coast of New Jersey and Long Island, and takes it to the Gulf of Maine. Now, this is one model run, and let's take a look at the snow totals here, guys. If you take a look at the total snowfall, you can see that 6-inch rain stretches from Maine, almost all of Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and back up to Maine. You can see some parts of the coastal areas could see some snow. Boston, maybe coastal parts of Connecticut, and maybe back up to New Jersey, but there's nothing serious here, at least for the GFS, for the coast. If you take a look back to the precipitation map and we change it to the Canadian, you can see as time goes on, again the storm forms by actually North Carolina, Virginia border now. If we continue here, the Canadian model wants to take it just off the coast of Virginia, touching Maryland. This is already a different track from the Canadian, from the GFS, and it is just south of Long Island here. Starting to charge to Nantucket, and notice there is no snow on the backside here for New York, Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. There is nothing. But as it gets to the Gulf of Maine, more snow starts to spread out here, just off the coast of Nantucket, and it's making a north-northeast track. And if we continue here, you can see the snow is starting to form late in Maine, New Hampshire, and parts of Vermont. Now we get to 1 a.m. Sunday. You can see that heavy snow starts to spread out from Vermont and northern parts of Maine. The low is down to 982, strengthening pretty fast in windy conditions here. If you take a look at the total snowfall for the Canadian here, it shows instead of having that heavy snow down from Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Vermont, it's all in Maine. Now if we take a look at a different model here, the GFS Para, as we quickly switch back to the preset map, you can see it's already starting to look different, but these runs only come out in a 0Z time frame, so it's nothing crazy. So you can see the low forms in the mountains of North Carolina, and as we change to the next slide, it is almost in the middle of Virginia. Next slide here, the storm starts to strengthen, and instead of being off the coast, it's on the coast of Maryland and Virginia border. If we continue, it's just south of Long Island, south of Montauk, and just getting close to Nantucket here. So if we take a look here, there's barely any snow forming. There's snow forming in the West Virginia mountains, southern parts of PA maybe, and extreme southern parts of New York where the cold air is trapped and trying to escape, and that quickly does. So if you take a look, all the models have the storm taking a north-northeast track, and this Canadian, at least the run, oh not Canadian, at least the run of this GFS para shows snow on 1 a.m. Sunday, snow trying to get down to the coast, to Long Island, Connecticut, and it's already starting to snow in Maine. I think no matter what, Maine's gonna get clobbered by this system, no matter the track, because even this run has snow getting down to Boston area, and it takes the track like this almost, off the coast, and Maine still gets a lot of snow. If we take a look at the snowfall totals here from the GFS para, it shows, again, Maine getting clobbered, but it depends where. Could it be northern part of Maine, or all of Maine, or just the coastal parts of Maine, like this run shows? Maine, southern parts of New Hampshire, and Massachusetts get around 6 inches of snow here on this run of the GFS para. If we take a quick look at the European here, this is the run from this afternoon, 12Z. This shows a storm coming from Virginia, North Carolina border, if I could draw that here for a second, South Carolina, North Carolina border, all the way into the North Carolina, Virginia border, so it is moving northeast at this time, and then it goes off the coast, pretty far south from Long Island, and just south of the very tip of New Jersey. This completely changes this track. If it were to continue going this track, you could see it doesn't really impact anybody that much, but it actually does. Instead of going straight out to sea, the storm curls back up and goes into the Gulf of Maine, dropping significant amount of snowfall. If we take a look at the total snowfall here from the European, it shows a pretty massive amount. Anywhere in the red is a foot plus, the purple 6 to 8 inches, and then the blue 3 to 5. If we take a quick look at the National Weather Service here, this is what their snowfall forecast is right now. See a lot of ones here in this light blue. Upstate New York, some pockets of 2 to 3 due to lake effect snow. But the main part of the storm is in New Hampshire and Maine, at least what they have it for now. You can see anywhere in this dark blue area is like 4 to 8 inches of snow, and then this very dark blue right here is like 5 to 8 as of right now. Expect these totals in Maine to go up throughout the day, and then you have some very little coastal snow for Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and parts of Connecticut, very small parts of Connecticut. I hope everybody had a great day and stay safe out there.